Okay, no sign first.
La Yashala.
Majin, which means to stand. Wapanyagodam, which means rise and face the east, so you're going to be facing this way. Okay, we're going to be reading the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew.
The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, Abanawa,
Sabbath,
Shemaya,
Kodah,
Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakufka, Naba'ah, Zazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Kawah, Hayah, Shemaya, Dalana, Lakam, Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Kawaknawa, Wasalaknawa, Kawakinawa, Wala'ah, Nabiya'anawa, Nasayawah, Abor, Awashaynawa, Mayan, Kaya, Laka, Malakwa, Ha'ala, the power, Aman.
In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
Hakak, the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh. Ba'ashim Yahushua. Babukusha. Nathanawa. Hakak. La'apa'ah. Ka'makala. Madawa. Hakak. Latahar. Amatazariah. Hakak. Lahakwiyam. Hamathium. Hahak. It's like Hakak. Arakara. Hatama'ala. Lagarashan. Ba'ashim Yahushua. The water Aman.
In the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua.
Please
give us the power.
The power to heal.
All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah. Ayanya. Ahohoya. Ma'ayah. Yaba'ah. Isaiah,
Ma'ai,
Yahweh.
So like Ma'ai.
It's like Yahweh. Aisha. Shemaya. Baratazah. Al-Yathan. Lamawat. Galka. Al-Yanawam. Shemaraka. Hana. La'ah. Yanawam. Wala'ah. Yashan. Shawamar. Yasha'ala. Yahweh. Shemaraka. Yahweh. Zalka. Al-Yah. Yamyanka. Yawamam. Hashamash. La'ah. Yakaka. Wayarat. Yahweh. It's like Yashamarka. Makal Rai. Yashamar. Napashka. Yahweh. Yashamar. Wa'aka. Wa'aka. Ma'ita. Wa'ai. Aman.
In the English, I will lift up mine eyes into the
hills.
From whence cometh my help?
My help
cometh from Yahweh. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee. Will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out. And thy coming in. From this time forth. And even forevermore. So be it.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim.
Al
Damayalaka. Al-Tacharak. Wa-Al-Tashakwat. Al. Kayahana. Awayabyaka. Yahama-Yawan. Wa-Mashanayaka. Nasha'awa. Ra'ash. Al-Aimaka. Ya'iriyumwa. Sawad. Wayata Ya'ai-Tazawad. Al-Tazapawanyaka. Amarawa. Lakawa. Wanahakida. Magoya. Wala'a. Yazakar. Shem Yasha'ala. Aiwad. Kaya. Nawa'ai-Tazawad. La. Yakadwa. Aldika. Baryat. Yakarafwa. Ahoya. Adawad. Wayashma'aliyah. Mawa'aba. Mawa'aba. Wahagoya. Gabor. Wa'aimawad. Wa'aimala. Halasha. I'm Yeshabia. Hazawar. Gum Ashawar. Nalawa. Imam. Hayawa. Zawawad. Labanyalawa. Salah. Aishalaham. Kamadyan. Kasayasara'a. Kayabyan. Banafal. Wayashwan. Nashamadwa. Ba'ayanda Ara. Hayawa. Damad. La'adama. Shayathumwa. Nariyamawa. Ka'irab. Wakaza'aba. Wakazabat. Wakazazalmanai. Nasakamwa. Ashar. Amora. Nayarasha. Lanawa. Na'awa. Alahaya. Shayathumwa. Galgala. Kwash. Lapanyaraka. Ka'ash. Taba'ayra. Wakalahaba. Salahat. Khan. Taradatma. Basa'iraka. Wabasawapaka. Tabahalam. Mala'a. Panyaham. Walawad. Wayabakwashwa. Shamka. Yahweh. Yabashwa. Wayabahalwa. Ayai. Wayakaparawa. Wayabadwa. Wayada'awa. Kaya. Atha. Shamka. Yahweh. Wabadka. Al-Yawad. Al.
Aman. In the English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold
not thy peace. And be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee. Have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off. From being a nation. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom. And the Ishmaelites. Of Moab. And the Hagarenes. Gabal. And Amalek. The Philistines. With the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them. As unto the Midianites. As to Sisera. As to Jabin. At the brook of Kissar. Which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb. And like Zed. Yea. All Salakia. All their princes as Zabah and as Zalmunna, who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
And troubled forever.
And troubled forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou. Whose name alone.
Whose name alone.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Art the Most High.
Art the Most High.
Over all the earth.
Over all the earth.
So be it.
So be it. The blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Mayat Yahweh.
Wa Mayat Yahweh.
Wa Alahayim.
Wa Alahayim.
Matazab Yahweh.
Matazab Yahweh.
Alawat Yahweh.
Alawat Yahweh.
Ha Alawat Yahweh.
Ha Alawat.
Ha Saranyim.
Ha Saranyim.
Ha Kutazayanyim.
Ha Kutazayanyim.
Ha Kuyayanyim.
Ha Kuyayanyim.
Wa Ha Agwafyim.
Wa Agwafyim.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Wa Hashim Yahweh Shai.
Hashim Yahweh Shai.
The water Aman.
The water Aman. In the English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yahweh.
Commanding General Yahweh.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
The prayer for the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
In all things living.
In all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the schools.
And the schools.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose the treasure.
And shake loose the treasure.
Of the rich of Israel.
Of the rich of
That
Israel.
refuse to give to the
That
school.
refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter into thy
To
sanctuary.
enter in thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nations.
And the nations.
And their drug
and
dealers.
the drug dealers.
The court system.
The court system.
The prison system.
The prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our
All the
enemies.
governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church. The Pope. Islam.
Christianity. Egyptology.
The militia.
Ku Klux Klan. Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Kamikaze. The gay movement. The lesbian movement. Spies. Workers of witchcraft. NASA space program. Army. Navy. Air Force. Marines. Wall Street. Open up the internet. And the airwaves. The cable access channel. And the radio channel. Convict the spirit. Of any of the people. Of any of thy people. That seek to stop us. And bring swift destruction. To all the heathen. That stand in the way. Try to stop us. From broadcasting your word. Throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues. Cause them to go to and fro. Through the earth. And consume them. Let the plague. Shake the house of the thief. And the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai. Michael and Gabriel. Come down with the flying saucers. And punish all the heathen. That come up against us. As we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all. That it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media. Throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you always. So be it.
So be it. Bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Barak Lanawa. Wa Yasha'Allah. Wahaba Yasapaya. Barak. Magan. Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. The water Aman.
What we said in the English was Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it. Sar, which means to turn. Yeshabia, which means to be seated. You remember we left off on last week?
Numbers chapter 3.
So we left off last week in Numbers, the 3rd chapter. All right. Okay. Numbers chapter 3, verse 29.
Numbers chapter 3, verse 29 in the Hebrew. Mashapachah, Banya, Kwaha, Yachanwa, Al, Yurak, Mashak, Slaki, wa Mashakan, Thayamana, verse 30. Slaki, Wanashaya, Baya, Abba, Lama Shapakha, Hakwahafya, Al Yatazapan, Ban, Aiza Ya'ala, verse 31. Wama Shamartha, Ha'aran, Wahashachan, it's like it, Wahashalachan, Wahamana, it's like it, Wahamanara, Mazabak, it's like it, Hamazabakha, Wakalia, Hakwadash, Ashar, Yashartha, it's like it, Yasharathwa, Baham, Wahamasak, Wakal, Ibadthwa. Verse 32. Wana Shaya'a, Na Shaya'aya, Halawaya, Al Izar, All Izar, Ban, Aharan, Hakahan, Pakudah, Shamaria, Ma Shamara, Wa Shamara, Hakodash. Verse 33. Lamararia, Mashapakaf, Hamachalia, Wamashapakaf, Hamawashia, Allaham, Mashapakaf, Moraria. Verse 34. Wapaquadiahum, Bamachapak, Ba Makapar, not Kapar, Bamasapar, Kal, Zakar, Maban, Khadash, Wama'ala, Shashaf, Alapyum, Wama'athiyum. Verse 35. Wanashaya'a, Baya, Abba, Lama Shapakha, Mararia, Tazawaya'ala, it's like it, Tazawaya'ala, Ban, Abaya Khayal, Al, Yakar, Mashakan, Shakhanwa, it's like it, Yakhanwa, Tazapana. Verse 36. Wabakwadaf, Ma Shamar, it's like it, Shamartha, yeah, Ma Shamartha, Banya, Moraria, Quarasia, Ha Mashakan, Wa Barya Khaya, Wa Barya Khayawa, Wa Aimadyawa, Wa Adanyawa, Wa Kalyawa, Wa Kal, Ibadathwa.
One more verse.
One more
you started
verse.
at 31, right?
30.
Oh, you started at 30? Okay, most high Christ. Alright, now we're going to read it in the English. Alright. Numbers chapter 3, verse 30. And the chief of the house of the father of the families of the Kohathites shall be Elazaphan, the son of Uzziel. Verse 31. And their charge shall be the ark, and the table, and the candlestick, and the altars, and the vessels of the sanctuary wherewith the minister, and the hanging and all the service thereof. Now what you see right now, you understand, is all of the, and this is just a small fraction of what we had during the time where we had our own land where we ruled our own place. Like now we under the authority and the subjugation of another nation of people. Right. This is not our land. This is not our home. Although it belongs rightfully to the North American Indian, right. You see how easy it was for our oppressor to come and, you know, destroy them and take their land. This is not our rest. You understand? All of the things you see, the Monterey, all of the censers, right. The chalices, the wine and the oil, the horn, the shapar, right. Like the place with the showbread, the scrolls. We had the ark. Everything was laid in gold. Like imagine everything you see and so much more. Like it's other schools. We got a lot of work to do, but it's other schools. Their setup is so much more glorious, and everything is looks gold. It's gold looking. It's gold plated because that's the way it was when we had our own land in Israel. That's right. We had gold. We had the Ark of the Covenant, and everything was just gold. Right. You understand? Like to show you who the real Israelites is, right. You know, who the real Israelites are, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We all love some gold. Gold teeth, gold watches, gold plated, gold necklaces, Cuban gold link chains, right. Gold earrings. We love gold. Gold grills in our mouth because that's King Solomon had rolls of gold. Right. That comes from us being the children of Israel. Right. We fly, we flashy, we the best looking and everything. Right. So we had the best of everything when it came to in the sanctuary, which is the temple. How I set up now, this is that sanctuary, this is the temple now. Right. And we have the same setup because we want to get back to where we were. Right. We want to get back to where we once were, our home, where we had everything. Man, now our oppressor has everything that we once had. They have all of the Monterey that's played. It was a huge, big gold Monterey we had. Right. You understand? We had everything, the big chalices, the shapar, the censers. God. Like this right here, that's what it's describing right here in the scripture. That's right. I'm going to read it again. It's Numbers chapter 3, verse 32. And Eleazar, the son of Aaron, Salakia, verse 31. And their charge shall be the ark, and the table, and the candlestick. That's this right here. That candlestick. That's 7. There's 1, 2, not 9 like the oppressor has. He has 9 because he's made a religion out of our culture. Right. And so they take and add 2 more candlesticks. It's 7 representing the 7 churches. It's representing the 7 churches or the 7 schools that Paul set up in Asia Minor. You understand? Right. That's that big candlestick that we've always had. And the vessels of the sanctuary wherewith they minister. Now these are vessels right here. These are vessels, chalices. These are vessels. Vessels are something you drink out of. You understand? And the hanging and all the service thereof. Verse 32. And Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, shall be chief over the chief of the Levites, and have the oversight of them that keep the charge of the sanctuary. Now, once again, man, like we always had order. Right. We always had law and order. That's right. You understand? There always was a ranking system amongst Israel. Right. There was never just, there was never every man for himself. Right. I'm my own man. I follow my own way. No, it was a ranking. It was ranking order. That's right. Everything was orderly. This is a brother that's putting the son of Aaron. He's making him the chief of the Levites. Right. The Levites at this time were the priests. Right. Were the ones who did the priestly duties, that sacrificed the first, lamb with no spot or blemish in the altar. The ones who was in there frying chicken during the Sabbath service, who was in there eating the showbread. You understand? Like this is what the priests did. They did the priestly duties. Everything lawful in that scripture and the laws, they are the ones who conducted the services and taught our people the laws. Right. And this is a man putting another brother over the chief of the Levites. This is order. Right. This is somebody. So that means the Levites have to go to a chief, and that chief or that officer has to go to somebody else in charge. Right. Like this is very important, man. This is not. Everything about the Bible is very militant. Is very orderly. There's no every man for himself. I get voting. That's out the question. There's no choosing anybody. You understand? This is all who the Lord chose to rule over people. Right. You understand? Verse 33. Merari was the family of Mahalites and the family of the Mushites. These are the families of Merari. Verse 34. And those that were numbered of them, according to the number of all males, from a month old and upward, were 6,200. Verse 35. And the chief of the house of the father of the families of Merari was Zeril, the son of Abahel. These shall pitch on the side of the tabernacle northward. Verse 36. And under the custody and charge of the sons of Merari shall be the boards of the tabernacle, and the bars thereof, and the pillars thereof, and the sockets thereof, and all the vessels thereof, and all that serveth thereto. Alright. Now we're going to read in Hebrew, and this is going to be the last 7.
Come, sir. Numbers chapter 3, verse 37. Wa Aimadia, Hakatazar, Sabayab, wa Adanyaham, wa Yathatham, wa Mayatharyaham. Verse 38. Wa Hakanya, Lapanya, Hamashakan, Quadama, Lapanya, Ahal, Mawa'ai, Mazar, Mazarakha, Mashah, Wa Aharan, Wa Banyawa, Shamaryam, Wa Shamartha, Hamakwadash, Lama Shamartha, Banya Yasha Allah, Wahazar Hakwabar, Yawamath, Yawamath. Verse 39. Kal, Pakowadia, Halawayim, Ashar, Pakwad, Mashah, Wa Aharan, Al, Payah, Yahweh, La Mashapachathma, Kal, Zakar, Maban, Chadash, Wa Ma'ila, Shanyam, Wa Aishariyam. It's like it. Wa Aishariyam, Allah. It's like an Aisharah. It's like it. Aisharayim. That's 20. It's like it. Wa Aisharayim, Allah. Verse 40. Wa Ya'amar Yahweh al Mashah Pakwad Kal Bakar Zakar Labanya Yasha Allah Maban Chadash Wa Ma'ila Wa Sha'ah Masapar Sha Matham. Verse 41. Walakha, like it, slack it. Walakwa, slack, that's a qua. Walakwaka, Halawayam, Laya, Anya Yahweh, Fakha, Kal, Bakar, Babanya, Yasha Allah, Wa'a, Bahamat, Walawayam, slack it. Halayam, Fakha, Kal, Bakawar, Babaha, slack it. Bahamat, Banya Yasha Allah. Verse 42. Waya Pakwad Mashah, Ka Ashar, Tazawa, Yahweh, Athwa, Kar, Bakar, Babanya Yasha Allah.
Alright. Go back to the rules. Okay. Starting at verse 37. We're in Numbers chapter 3, verse 37 in English. And the pillars of the court round about, and their sockets, and their pins, and their cords. This is what the scripture, their cords. This is what Captain Adazai was talking about. Like, I think that's what it was, his cords. Like, we found it reading in the Sabbath service. Most High Christ, get the Lord in hand. Because it was in law, right? So in the temple, in our holy place, right, where the priests were, he had to wear a cord around him. You understand? That the reason he had to wear a cord was because if he died, right, if he just was to drop dead from doing something wrong, right, and this is very important to teach children. This is very important. This is something the church don't teach you. Right. This is something the church don't teach children because you know they got youth pastors in the church, right, that's touching everybody's child. They got youth pastors. And, you know, which is not in the Bible. Right. Youth pastors is not biblical. Right. But they just make everything the hell up. Right. And this is something very important to teach children. This is something very important to teach blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. Right. We absolutely hate rules. It is very important to teach someone rules from a young age. If there are rules and laws that the Lord set up, that there is no breaking. Right. That there is no getting around. Right. Like there's your mother, and you can tell her, you can convince her to change me going out to see my friend this weekend. Not in the Lord. This is not the Most High. The Most High is a Father. Right. What He said goes forever. There's no changing it. Right. If the Lord said to do this, it means to do this. Right? There's laws in the Bible. Christians, I know you don't understand. Like Christians see rules and they absolutely hate rules. Yarash. Right. Like on the pack of cigarettes, it says if you smoke, you will get lung cancer. Right. There is a Surgeon General warning, which means the top surgeon, a doctor who went to school for damn near 15 years to study and research and be disciplined and work 18 hours a day in residency. He is a top doctor of the United States of America, and he knows the detriment and the negative effects health-wise on your body that cigarettes cause. On a pack of cigarettes, it says, do not smoke. You will get cancer and die. A pregnant woman, your child will be born with birth defects. Right. People still get the pack of cigarettes and start smoking it. Right. You understand? After it says, do not smoke, because we absolutely hate laws and rules. There is a demon on blacks and Hispanics specifically that wants to die. And we hate reading rules. We hate following laws. We hate looking at rules. You understand? Right. That comes from the Christian church. Right. Because the Christian church teaches us that whatever makes you happy, pursue it. Whatever makes you feel good, do it. Right. And that is not the Bible. Right. That is not God. That is not the Most High. That is not the Spirit of Christ. Right. You understand? Right. It is very important to follow rules. Right. If a priest did the wrong thing in the temple, he died. The Lord killed him. It was no question about it. Right. There was no convincing him. There was no asking him, please, could you please spare me? Right. If you disobeyed what the Lord said, you died. There was a brother in the Bible that there was an order not to touch the ark. The ark of the covenant failed. He touched it trying to be the good, and he was doing the right thing. He was trying to pick it up because he didn't want it to touch the ground. But that's not what the rules said. That's not what law stated. That's not what the order was. He died. Right. You understand? The Lord killed him. Right. You get my point. Like, it is very important to teach this to children. It's very important to teach this to your ribs, your spouses. Like, this rules and laws, there's things you have to follow. There's no question about it. Because if you don't follow them, you die. Well, of course, our laws state that if something is dead, a dead animal, the carcass of any dead thing, a dead human, a dead pig, the carcass of a clean animal is unclean because it's dead. You understand? Like these COVID-19 should have taught blacks and Hispanics why it is important to follow the laws of cleanliness, of hygiene. Right. Like separating and quarantining is something that we've done for thousands of years. Right. And something that UPK has been doing since 1969. That's right. You understand? And so if this priest was to die in the temple, he had a cord wrapped around his waist so another priest can pull him out because he cannot touch the unclean. Right. You get my point? And this right here is that scripture talking about the cords. This is what Captain Nottis was just bringing out. Okay. You understand? Was just trying to find. We trying to find the scripture all day before camp. Trying to find the scripture.
And verse 38 explains it too.
In verse 38, okay, we gonna get to it. So this is. I'm giving you the preface. I'm showing you right now the cord. This is what the cord was used for. Right. You understand? The verse 38. But those that encamp before the tabernacle toward the east, even before the tabernacle of the congregation eastward, shall be Moses and Aaron and his sons, the priests, the Levitical priests. Right. You understand? Keeping the charge of the sanctuary for the charge of the children of Israel. And the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. Like, this is some hardcore. Like, the Bible is not soft, man. Right. This is a stranger coming and trying to get into the temple, which is why at the beginning of after Sabbath service, right, when a young man or a young officer, a priest, they present thyself before the priest that's up here. That's right. You have to. There's sticks, right? Mm-hmm. There's swords or sticks that keep them from getting up here until they state their registry. That's right. Because unbeknownst to Christians, and little did we know growing up in the Christian church, who your father is matters to the Lord. Right. What your father's nationality is, it matters to the Lord. Right. And we had to state our registry because that is something that is very important. Right. It was a rule. Right. You understand?
Right.
You stated your registry. If somebody said so and so, Elam, brother, they dead, they gone.
Right.
You're not coming into the sanctuary. You understand? Because you're not the children of Israel.
Right.
A very separate nation.
Right.
A nation that believes in quarantining. Right. A nation that believes in adhering to something other than just, Christianity.
Right.
Which allows everybody, Rainbow Coalition.
Right.
That's not the nation of Israel, brother.
Right.
The nation of Israel is separate.
That's right.
Absolutely separate.
That's
only
right.
loving their people, only taking care of their people,
right.
only looking out for their people.
Right.
Like, this is rules and laws in the Bible.
That's right.
You are not supposed to have strangers in the temple and the sanctuary. Are you crazy?
Right.
They are going to murder you like Dylan Roof.
Right.
Like that devil that shot up those 10 people at Boulder, Colorado.
Right.
Like all of the devils who have lynched us, who have murdered us, who have killed us, man. These are animals that we're speaking about that you trying to let into the... They eat dogs and cats and rats. The children of Moab, the Chinese.
Right.
The Japanese eat all that General Tso's chicken that ain't chicken but rats.
Right.
These Elamites bathe in piss.
Right.
Africans bathe in piss. Our oppressor, who is the devil the Bible speaks of, is an absolute animal and murderer.
Right.
And you let them in your church. That's why those 9 brothers and sisters died and were murdered in cold blood. For how many hours was Dylan Stormroof in that South Carolina church, man? There's rules and laws in this Bible that you're not supposed to let the children of other nations in.
Right.
We are an absolute separate nation, and it has kept us alive and kept us safe since 1969 now.
That's right.
No Dylan Stormroof have came up in here.
Right.
No African came up in here killing one of our sisters.
Right.
Like the IUIC's Joy Morgan. That sister Joy Morgan had died and got murdered by that African because the IUIC allows Africans in that group.
Right.
That's not the UPK, man.
Right.
We keep the laws of God.
That's right.
We absolutely understand how important it is to keep the laws of God or you die.
Right.
Let that be a lesson to Christians and fake Israelites, man. Keep going. Salakia. So that explains the cord and why it was there, because if you had to pull a man out, if he was dead, you cannot touch his body. So you had to pull him out with the cord. You understand?
The sanctuary, right. Come on.
Right, pull him out the sanctuary, pull him out the temple. All right, that was verse 38, right? And you stopped at verse 41?
42, sir.
The water. So I'm at verse 39. Numbers chapter 3, verse 39. All that were numbered of the Levites, which Moses and Aaron numbered at the commandment of the Most High, throughout their families, and all the males from a month old and upward, were 20 and 2,000. Verse 40. And the Most High said unto Moses, number all the firstborn of the males of the children of Israel from a month old and upward. Shalaki. And take the number of their names.
Right.
Verse 41. And you wanted something to say? You had something to say about that?
Go
ahead, please.
If I could, real quick. The main focus here is it said from a month old.
Right.
Not a month old. A month is literally you almost damn near coming out of your mother's womb.
That's right.
It mattered who your father was since birth.
That's right.
That's the most important here. It's
That's
in
right.
our law.
That's right. No, Most High Christ. It's absolutely right. Christianity is a lot of things that Christianity misses. Number one, a lot of Christians, especially modern day Christians, do not like to read the Old Testament. Right. Because of all the laws, the rules, the murders, all of the lawful killings that were done from people disobeying God, which would have saved so many brothers and sisters that's in the grave, in the penitentiary, on welfare, on WIC, on Section 8, that's aborting children. It would have saved their lives by just learning to obey God from a young age.
Right.
Just learning to say, man, I can't smoke because that goes against the laws of my forefathers.
Right.
The laws of my fathers.
Right.
The law of God.
Right.
That goes against what I was taught.
Right.
That would have saved and spared so many brothers from going in front of that court, brother, and looking at a devil, a judge, in their face. Some man that when they were Christian, your mama said only God can judge.
Right.
But now you stole that money. You stole a bag of chips out of the damn store, the corner store, and the judge is going to give you 5 years in the penitentiary for stealing. Petty theft. You're going to get, in New Jersey, you're going to get 10 years per hollow tip round in a gun. 10 years for every bullet.
Right.
Every hollow tip bullet. You're going to stand in front of a judge just trying to protect yourself and your family.
Right.
You're going to get 10 years for every last one of those bullets.
Right.
And you're going to be there crying and asking, you're going to appeal and be pleading and asking God then You're going to wish you obeyed laws and rules then.
Right.
When your life is on the line, you're going to want to be obeying rules and laws then. When you're in the hospital bed from lung cancer, and you're coughing up blood, and you have brain aneurysms and embolisms in your lungs from all of the years of smoking, all of the years of smoking and deteriorating your body, abusing your body, being brutal on your body, you're going to wish you obeyed laws then. These are very important, man. These are things that cannot be missed. But of course the church misses them, and they don't teach them to us because it's all about whatever you feel like doing in the church. Not in the UPK. There are rules and laws here that will be obeyed. And they will not be compromised for anybody. I pray everybody understands, okay? Now, let's go down to verse 40. Oh, sorry, 41, sorry. Okay, the water. Salakia. I said like I'm in verse 40. I didn't say this one. Oh yeah, did I? Okay, Salakia. Numbers chapter 3, verse 41. And thou shalt take the Levites for me. I am the Most High. Instead of all the firstborn among the children of Israel, and the cattle of the Levites, instead of all the firstlings among the cattle of the children of Israel. And we're going to pick it back up next week, man. You understand? We're going to pick it up from here. So we're going to pick it up from Numbers chapter 3, verse 42 next week, because it's so much just to get on that right there. You understand? All right. Imajum, which means to stand, just us up here. Just us up here. La Yashala. Okay, Imajum, which means to stand. Upanyak Udam, which means to rise and face the east, so just like you did before. Alright.
The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakufka, Daba'ah, Matazaka, Hayah, Aishah, Yaratazah, Kawah, Hayah, Shemayim, Nathanawa, Latam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Kabawaknawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawakinawa, Bala'ah, Dabaya'anawa, Anasayawa, Abal, Kawashaynawa, Mayan, Right. Hayah, Lakah, Kamalakwa, Waha'ala, what the power, Awalamyam, Aman, in the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven, give us this day, our daily bread, forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever, so be it. Hakak, the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Babukushah, Nathalanawa, Hakak, Lavapa'ah, Kal Makalah, Hakam Madawa, Latahar, Hamatazariah, Hakak, Hamathia, Hakak, Al-Hara, Hatama'ala, Lagarashan, Ba'ashim Yahushua, the water Amon, in the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the leper. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah.
Asha'ah.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Ohohoya.
Ahohoya.
Ma'aya.
Ma'aya.
Yaba'a.
Yaba'a.
Isaiah.
Isaiah.
Ma'ay.
Ma'ay.
Yahweh. Aisha. Shemaiah. Maratazah. Al-Yathad. Lamawat. Hagalka. Al-Yanawam. Shamaraka.
Salakia. Al-Yanawam.
Shamaraka. Hana. La'a. Yanawam. Wala'a. Yashun. Shawamar. Yasha'Allah. Yahweh. Shamaraka. Yahweh. Zalka. Al-Yah. Yanyanka. Yawamam. Shamash. La'a. Yakaka. Wayarat. Walayala. Yahweh. Shamaraka. Makarat. Yashamar. Napashka. Yahweh. Yashamar. Kaza'aka. Wa'aka, Ma'aitha, Wa'ai,
Aman, Salaki, in English. I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh.
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
Which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee.
He that keepeth thee.
Will not slumber.
Will not slumber.
Behold.
He
that keepeth Israel.
He that keepeth Israel.
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
Nor the moon by night.
Nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee.
Yahweh shall preserve thee
from all evil.
From all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
And thy coming in.
And thy coming in.
From this time forth. And even forevermore. So be it.
So be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahaya.
All
the Mayalaka.
All the Mayalaka.
All the Farat.
All the Farat.
All the Shakwat.
All the Shakwat. All.
Kayahana. Kawayabyaka. Yahama Yawan. Wama Shanayaka. Nasha'awa.
Ra'ash.
Al-Imaka. Ya'arayamwa. So why? Wayata Ya'ai Tazawa. Out to the Pawanyaka. Amarwa. Lakawa. When I pack you down. Magoya. Wala'a. Yazakar. Sham Yasha'ala. Aiwad. Kaya. Nawa'ai Tazawa. Lab. Lahadwa. Aryaka. Baryak. Yakarafwa. Ahoya. Adawa. Wayashama'alaya. Mawa'ab. Wahagoya, Gabal, Wa'amala, Palasha, I'm Yashab, Hazawar, Ram Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa. Zawawai, Yabanya Lawa, Salah, Aisha Laham, Kamadian, Kasayasara, Kayabyan, Manafal, Koyashwa, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayanda Ara, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shema Salaki, La Adama, Shayatamwa, Nadayamawa, Ka'ira, Wakaza'awa, Wakazazalmanai, Hanasakamwa, Ashar, Marwa, Nayarasha, Lanoa, Na'awa, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Kagala, Kakwash, Lapanya Rakha, Ka'ash, Saba'ira Ya'ira, Wakala Talahat, Hoya, Taradapma, Masa'iraka, Wabasawapatka, Tabahalam, Mala'a, Hanyaham, Walawa, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabahawa, Ayai, Wayapaparwa, it's like Waya Da'awa, Kaya, Shamka, Yahawa, Labaka, Al, like an Al Yawan, Al, Parataza, Aman.
In the English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Thine enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate thee
have lifted up the head.
Have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people.
Against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said.
Come.
And let us cut them off from being a nation.
And let us cut them off from being a nation.
That the name of Israel.
prayer.
May be no more in remembrance.
May be no more in remembrance.
For they are consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
the
thee.
Tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
Of Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes.
Gabal. And Ammon.
And Ammon.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
The Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Asher also is joined with them.
Asher also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot. Selah.
Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of Kissar.
At the brook of Kissar.
Which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a red.
Make their nobles like a red.
Like Zer.
And like Zer.
Yea. All their princes.
All their princes.
As Zabah.
As Zabah.
And as Amunah.
And as Amunah.
Who said. Let us take to ourselves.
Let us take to ourselves.
The houses of Yahweh in possession.
The houses of Yahweh in possession.
Oh my power.
Oh my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As the stubble before the wheel.
As the stubble before the wheel.
As the fire burneth the wood.
As the fire burneth the wood.
And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
So persecute them.
So persecute them.
With thy tempest.
With thy tempest.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
And troubled forever.
And troubled forever. Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou. Whose name alone.
Is
Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Art the most high.
Art the most high.
Over all the earth.
Over all the earth.
So be it.
So be it. Blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Mayak Yahweh.
Wa Mayak Yahweh.
Wa Alahaya.
Wa Alahaya.
Wa Tazab Yahweh.
Wa Tazab Yahweh.
Alawak Yahweh.
Alawak Yahweh.
Wa Alawak Yahweh.
Alawak Yahweh.
Hasaranya.
Hasaranya.
Hakutazayanya.
Hakutazayanya.
Hakayayaya.
Hakayayaya.
Wa Ha'akwakya.
Wa Akwakya.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Wa Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
The water Aman.
The water Aman. In the English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yahweh.
Commanding General Yahweh.
The generals.
The generals.
The captain.
The captain.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
The prayer of the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
In all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
Speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the schools.
And the schools.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose the treasure.
And shake loose the treasure.
Of the rich of Israel.
Of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the
that
school.
refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
To enter in thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nations.
And the nations.
And the drug dealers.
And the drug dealers.
The court system.
And the court system.
The prison system.
The prison system.
Planned Parenthood. All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam. Christianity. Egyptology.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan. Skinheads. Posse Comitatus. The gay movement. The lesbian movement. Spies. Workers of witchcraft. NASA's space program. Army. Navy. Air Force. Marines. Wall Street. Open up the internet. And the airwaves. Cable access channel. And the radio channel. Convict the spirit. Of any of thy people. That seek to stop us. And bring swift destruction. To all the heathen. That stand in the way. Try to stop us. Broadcasting your word. Throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues. Cause them to go to and fro. Through the earth. And consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers. And punish all the heathens that come up against us. As we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all. It is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media. Throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you always. So be it.
Bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Ba'ashim Yahushai. Barak Lanawa. Wa Yasha'Allah. Wahaba Yasapaya. Barak. Magun. Ba'ashim Yahushai. The water Amman.
What we said in English was Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahushai, thank you, so be it. Sar, which means to turn. God. Sisters, Salakia, Yeshabi, which means to be seated. Men of Israel, we're going to give what? No, just the sisters. The brothers still stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, I might Shabbat, I might them. Barak, Yadi Matah, Sar, which means to turn, face the sisters, where the sisters would be. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, I might Shabbat, I might them. Barak, Yadi Matah, dismissed.